Hello, algebra students. Mr. Lawrence here with your flipped lesson. We're going to spend some more time multi-step equations. You got some practice in class today, and I'm going to highlight some things to you that you may not realize. The whole goal in all these problems is to turn the multi-step equation into something that looks like this. This is really an easy equation that you all know how to solve. You can listen to Saddam and you can undo the addition using subtraction, right? And then once you've undone the addition, you can undo the multiplication using division. Now, if you can turn it into a two-step equation, then it becomes pretty simple. And of course, you can check your work. 2 times 2 plus 3 equals 7. 4 plus 3, 7. There we go. We got the right answer. It checks. Now, sometimes they look a little bit ugly. Like, for example, problem number 1. We have x's on the same side of the equation. In fact, if we look at this, we highlight this 6x, and we have a 3x. How many x's do we have on the left-hand side of the equation? Well, we have 9x minus 5 equals 20. Look at that. Lo and behold, I have a two-step equation. Now it's simple. Okay, I'm going to add 5 to both sides. I'm listening to Saddam. And so I'm going to get 9x, which is going to equal 25. Then, of course, to undo the multiplication, I'm going to divide. Notice I don't write a division symbol. Please don't write a division symbol there. Use the fraction for division. It'll help build your comfort level with fractions. Now, this is an acceptable answer, 25/9. Of course, if you want to turn this into a mixed number, you could say, well, that goes in twice. 9 goes into 25 18 times. I believe it'll be 7 short. 9 goes into 25 two times, excuse me. 2 times 9 is 18, which is 7 short of 25. And then I divide it by 9, 2 and 7/9. Now, if you go to a calculator, the calculator will tell you this, and I'll show you a whole bunch of 7s. If you're going to use the decimal, you have to use that repeating bar. If you just put 2.7, 2 and 7/10, 2 and 8/10, you round it, that is not going to be get as much credit as one of these answers. All 3 of these are equivalent. There's no reason to go to a calculator on these. I'm expecting you to give one of these answers, whichever one you're more comfortable with, but it's okay. Um, anyway, all right, I'm starting to ramble. So let's look at problem number 2. We have 3 times the quantity of 2x plus 6 equals 18. Now I know a shortcut here, but I'm not going to show it to you. If you really want to see it, come see me and I'll show you. It has to do with getting rid of this 3 a different way. All right. So, oops, looks like we're readjusting. I'm going to distribute. Most of you are pretty comfortable with distributing. Some of you show this second arrow, but then you forget to multiply. So 3 times 2x is going to be 6x. 3 times 6 is going to be 18. That's going to equal 18. Okay? And now it's a two-step equation. I'll undo my addition. I'll get 6x equals 0. And then I'll divide by 6 on both sides. Of course, I get x on the left-hand side, and 0 divided by 6 is 0. Well, let's test it and see if it works. 3 times 2 times 0 plus 6. Well, following the order of operations, I do this first, and I get 0 plus 6. Then I get 3 times 6, which is, of course, 18, so it does check. Now, I didn't check this first one just because I was rambling, but I certainly can. If I do 6 times 25/9, and this will bug some of you because I got a fraction, minus 5 plus 3 times 25/9. Well, let's see what we get here. I normally simplify first, but the fact that I'm going to have a couple of fractions here, I'm I'll go ahead and simplify. I'm going to reduce the fraction 6/9 and turn it into 2/3. And so I'm going to get 50 over 3. 50 over 3. I still have this minus 5. And here I'm going to reduce the fraction 3/9, turn it into 1/3. And so I'm going to get plus 25 thirds. Now I'm not going to go left to right on this problem. I'm going to notice that I have 50 thirds and 25 thirds. So together that must give me 75 thirds. And then I'll have to minus 5 from that. Well, 75 thirds, 75, that's like having 3/4. So 75 thirds must be 25. And I'll subtract 5 from that, and I'll get 20. And sure enough, that's what I wanted. So it does check. Okay, now problem number 3 and problem number 4 are a little bit different. The x's are on different side of the equal sign. Okay, so if I kind of do this, I don't like to draw it through because that makes it look like it's not equal. I know you guys don't like when there's x's on both sides of the equation. Remember, my advice to you was take one of them away. And I suggest to take the smaller one away. So I'll take away the 3x. But I have to do it to both sides of the equation. And when I do that, the left-hand side will become 2x plus 4 minus 12 equals negative 12. Look at that, a two-step equation. So I'll subtract 4 from both sides, and I'll get 2x equal to negative 16. Divide by 2, divide by 2, and I'll get x is equal to negative 8. If I check that, I'll have 5 times negative 8 plus 4, and I'll see if that equals 3 times negative 8 minus 12. Well, this is going to be negative 24 minus 12, which will get me a negative 36. Well, this is going to be negative 40 plus 4, and sure enough, that equals negative 36 as well. So it does check. There's my answer. Okay, problem 4, very similar. There's x's on both sides of the equation. I'll take away the smaller one. Well, it's negative, so that means I'll take away a negative, which is adding a positive. All right, so I get the new equation, 6, those cancel, equals 6x minus 9. Two-step equation. I'm going to undo the subtraction first, which means I'll add 9 to both sides. I'll get 15 equal to 6x. And then I will divide by 6. And these will cancel. I'll have x equals 15, 6. But I don't like that answer because it's not simplified. And so I'll simplify it, dividing by 3, and I'll get 5 halves, or 2 1/2. Okay. If I go to check that, I'll do my check in green. I'm going to have 6 minus 3 times 2 1/2. And does that equal 3 times 2 1/2 minus 9? Okay, so let's test this here. We're going to have 6 now minus. Now, 3 2 1/2. Well, 2 1/2 and 2 1/2 is 5, and another 2 1/2 is 7 1/2, right? That's what this means. 3 times 2 1/2 means that the same thing as 2 1/2 plus 2 1/2 plus 2 1/2. I mean, I've got 2, 4, 6, and then I've got half and a half is a whole, so I'm up to 7 and then a half. So I have that. Okay, this will simplify to minus 1 1/2. Checking the other side, I've got 7 1/2. Don't have to remultiply, it's the same problem. Minus 9. Well, on a number line, 7 1/2 is 1 1/2 away from 9 on a number line. But since it's 7.5 minus 9, it'll be a negative. All right, how are we doing on time here? I need a little more room to work. Okay, we're getting a little bit long. I'll try to speed it up. Problems 5 and 6 are pretty easy. 5 is already a two-step equation. I'll undo the addition, and I'll get x over 6, which is going to equal 7. And then I'll multiply to get rid of my division. Now notice I didn't put times 6 next to the 6. 6 times 6 doesn't cancel. It's the fraction that simplifies, that cancels out. 6 is one whole. That turns to x. 7 times 6 is 42. If you're wondering why I didn't do that with a 7, because the 6 is in a numerator. The 7's in a numerator. The 6 is in the numerator. I could put them over 1, but it's unnecessary. So I've got 42 there, and I'm going to check this one verbally. 42 divided by 6 is 7. 7 minus 3, 4. There you go. Okay, on this one, I'm going to have to distribute on both sides. What number am I going to distribute by? Well, I'm going to count by 4s. Take the larger denominator. 4, 8, 12. Stop! I got a number that both 3 and 4 both go into. I'm going to multiply both quantities by 12. I'm going to distribute that 12. And here's what my problem will look like. I'll have 12 over 1 times x over 3 plus 12 times 2. I didn't write it as a fraction because 2 is not written as a fraction. X over 4 times 12 over 1 minus 5 times 12. Okay, simplifying this fraction. 12 thirds is the same as 4 over 1. 4 times x, 4x. It's over 1, but that simplifies to 4x. Plus 12 times 2, 24. Now here, I've got 12 fourths. That will simplify to 3 over 1. 3 times x is 3x minus 60. This looks like an earlier problem. I'll take away the smaller of the two x's, and my new equation will be x plus 24, which will equal negative 60. Oop, I said 60 and I wrote 16. Shame on me. All right, so I'll subtract 24 from both sides, and I'll get x, which is equal to negative 84. And I'm going to leave the check up to you on that one. And I'm going to end this video. All right. Did 6 problems in 13 minutes. If you need to rewatch it, please do. Mr. Lawrence signing off. Have a good night, everybody.